What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Of course, we all have our different positions of who is who in the black community. We talk about our leaders. We talk about their contributions. I've had some of those debates on my channel. I tend to not do that anymore because I don't really want to be disrespectful of people that, I might have some issues with. All right. Some people are very controversial, from Malcolm X to Martin Luther King to Louis Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, Clarence 13X, Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass, so on and so forth. I try to look at the good of what the brothers have contributed to our community. But if you have differences of opinion, I really wouldn't mind having that conversation with people who are in the black community. Now, what I do find disheartening are those people who are not in the African-American community. And the African-American community is not largely seeking out your community. And if they are, most likely there could be a reason because they feel offended. But usually the African-American community is not trying to seek out other people's community. It happens, but but when somebody, let's say, dies from another leader, like let's say Julio Cesar Chavez, right? He's a national holiday. You will never see African-Americans talking down on that, for the most part. But we do see Michael Reparations having a say against the African-American community with Dr. Martin Luther King on his birthday. It's supposed to be a person that loves black people, right? This is a American Jewish person. However, we also see this with Just Pearly Things, because I'm going to deal with her. Now, Just Pearly Things and both Michael Reparations both got a lot of their clout from the African-American or the black community, especially Just Pearly Things. Just Pearly Things was known largely for her show with Sarah Garvey and just basically doing a lot of work with blacks. King Riches, Auntie Jenny, the whole staff was black. She emailed me, a black person who was pro-black, wanted me to collaborate with her. She wanted to talk to mediocre tutorials and reviews. She wanted to talk to that guy. But this is basically what she was trying to do to build her name. She got her fame off the blacks. This is very similar to Reparations. A lot of Reparations' success has largely been off of black culture, all right? Hanging around black rappers, black athletes. He had their whole back and forth with Kevin Durant. This is not, something he's known for basically just as an, 100% hanging out with the, Jewish community. Even though he's Jewish, same thing with Vlad. Vlad TV, Reparations, and Just Pearly Things have largely gotten their fame and fortune from hanging around or being tied to the African-American hip-hop entertainment markets, okay? So what happens is Just Pearly Things waits until, Martin Luther King's birthday to say this about him. Look at this. The real red pill is that Dr. King was a race hustler. Let's look at some of the comments here. Observe, ex discern. No, he was not. There was no financial gain from talking about race back then. Don't look at the past with today's lens. The people that are parodying him today are race hustlers. King Humble goes, disrespectful you are. Ludovich, you're a gender hustler. Mark Baldwin, white guy. I enjoy many of your posts, but this one is disgraceful. David Hill, I'm confused. Were black Americans not allowed to head west to claim to the free land? Actual question. Now, let me just do this. Sarah Garvey had asked her. This is Sarah Garvey, who's a brother that is not an African American, a brother that is in the UK. He has some understanding of our community, but not all of it. But he has a good understanding, a pretty good grip on what he believes happens in black America based on his experience as a black brother living in London. He asked her this question about reparations. Let's play that clip.
Do you think that historical catastrophes must be compensated for?
No.
No.
That's stupid.
So then, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah.
So then, how come there were groups of people that got compensation then?
How come?
For instance, like Jewish people, Chinese people, Japanese people with the bombs. Like there were groups of people who got compensated.
I don't know.
So it wasn't fair.
What? Well, I'm talking about like when I think about group, I think about reparations. So I mean, maybe if the people were still alive today, like I don't know, maybe. But like when you said historical, I thought you meant like at the past, not the present.
Yeah, so like in the past, so like people talk about slavery. So in the past, you know, the Holocaust happened. In the past, you know, the Japanese, but people got compensated for it.
Yeah.
there's a book, right, called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And when you read that book, you realize that the whole Industrial Revolution and stuff like that was started because of the colonization. And you just think, well, if you didn't do that, then you wouldn't be as successful.
So, what do you mean by the colonization?
So the colonization of Africa, so both the people and the resources, right? There's a direct correlation between the colonization of Africa and the Industrial Revolution.
Okay.
And so with all the metals and the rubber and all this kind of stuff coming from Africa, it fueled the Industrial Revolution of the West.
Wait, so you're saying like in Africa, when you say colonize, you're saying like did England come in and colonize?
Yeah, like so European, France, Spain, Portugal, England.
And they like enslaved Africans, and that's what you're saying. Okay.
So they enslaved and at least colonized the continent.
Okay.
So when you colonize a continent and then you take ownership of the resources, you're able to gather those resources together and use them to your own benefit.
Right.
And so you gather those resources, use them to your own benefit, and build up your economy, all the while messing up the economy of that actual country.
Now, here is something that I want to talk about. I want to talk about this. You black men out there, and I'm going to tell you where this happened. Remember when she disrespected black people on this particular Nick Fuentes interview, and she was supposed to apologize? Remember what the Negroes told her not to apologize? Here's the clip. I want you to listen at it. We're going to come back.
The Clue channel, you're on the air, Obsidian Radio, with Just Pearly Things. Go right ahead.
What's going on? Can I be heard?
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay, Pearl, why are you apologizing? That's the part that's confusing me.
Why? I just think that I should have done my homework before that interview, and I should have had someone on the other side, and I really shouldn't have spoken on things that I don't know before the interview. So that's why.
But isn't that the purpose of an interview, to find out things you don't know?
Yeah, well, you're supposed to be asking questions, though, not really giving your personal opinions.
Of course you can give your personal opinion. It's your show. Of course. There was nothing wrong with that show you did with Nick. There was nothing wrong with that. So you don't have to apologize. Because other people got in their feelings, that's a different issue. But you didn't do anything wrong. Not in my opinion, no.
So you see, last year, she would never say this. She wouldn't say this. But you see, you black men out there that was associated with, and I hate to say it, not all, but some of you brothers in the black manosphere, this is why this disrespect comes towards us, because black men told her not to apologize. So you thought that she was doing something, but really she's telling you, I don't respect your people. How are you a race hustler when you are being mistreated? You're an activist. So you're supposed to just sit there and not do anything? What are you saying, Pearly? Should he have just said nothing? Yes, sir, boss. Yes, this is okay. I'm glad. I sure is glad you allowing us to walk across the street when you come towards us. I sure is glad as a 60-year-old man, a 20-year-old white man can call me boy, and I got to answer to him, yes, sir, boss. I think that's great. So black people at that time were supposed to do what, Pearly? My grandmother picked cotton, lived in poverty, tenant farming. We didn't even own the farm. Extreme poverty. So talking about the issues at the time, that's race hustling. But see, this is the same kind of woman who date black men. And I want to tell you, this is what happens. This is exactly what happens. A lot of the black men that she deals with ain't gonna be no pro-blacks. Because ladies like this can deal with black people, sleep with black men, or vice versa, black women, and guess what? Don't have no respect for you. Don't have no respect for your people. Nothing, right? Because we teach them how to treat us. We taught them. Then we get mad when they do that. We get upset. We get very upset. We get pissed off. Well, this is what we do. We should never, and I'm gonna tell you like this, my growth report, call one of his leaders in his community, because nobody's perfect. If we were to go out and find some things, a clip about his people, could be right? Do you think he's gonna allow you to say that? No. And their community's not going to apologize. But if you said it about them, you have to apologize because it's called power. None of us can go out and call any person in Rapaport's community a race hustler or Vlad's community. They're always speaking on black issues. All we can do is get mad because we can't enforce anything on them. Well, I mean, what can you do? If you see them out somewhere, you can yell at them. Maybe something else, but you would go to jail. You can't enforce anything on people that talk about your group. And I never talk about other people's ancestors, especially on their day, even if I don't agree with them. Even in my community, I don't do that. But this is so distasteful. You wait till today to do that or that day, man, you're terrible. And blacks gotta wake up. That's when somebody shows you they don't have any respect for you. That's their way of showing you. Listen, your community is trash. We don't care about you. We're gonna do whatever you want. And we need to wake up. These people are not here to befriend us. And again, I believe he says, well, all this anger is coming towards our community. I could never say that about nobody else's community. So now Rappaport is an op, okay? But we gotta stop being the opposition to ourselves. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shay Duke Jackson. Back at it again. Another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.